Okay, thank you for it. Now, at just 24 years of age, our next guest has gone from living in housing commission to owning 6 investment properties.
This is on a salary of less than $50,000. Edward Dilleen has amassed an impressive portfolio worth more than $1.2 million. He joins us now with his mentor and fellow investor, Nathan Birch. Boys, good to see you this morning.
Good morning.
Eddie,
hey guys.
You bought your first home, you're 19 years old. How'd you do it?
For me, it was a lot of saving, basically. It was having a plan in place and just being committed to that.
So, how much did you save?
It was just under about $20,000.
Okay, so you got that $20,000 and you bought one property, but then how do you turn that into a deposit for a multi-million-dollar portfolio?
It's a good question. For me, it has a lot to do with strategy. Like, that's the most important thing. You've got to have a plan in place. Also, for me, it's looking at other people that have actually done it before, and that's where I came across Nathan and saw what he was doing. It was also having the right strategy, as I said, and purchasing properties that are below market value, that have a good upside for capital growth and a good strong cash flow.
All right, Nathan, you've done this as well. You're 31 years old. You manage a portfolio of over 200 properties. That's worth over 30 mil.
Over 50.
Over 50 million. Oh, well, that's just gone up.
Net worth is 30 mil after all expenses.
So can anyone do this?
Amazing.
Anyone can. Like, Eddie's come from housing commission in western suburbs, and people say it's impossible to get it in the market. And I hear the same things today in 2016 that I heard when I bought my first house at 18 in 2003. And
Totally agree with you. I think there are ways to do it, and you're proving that there are ways. We've got some photos, I think, Eddie, of a few of your properties. Now, they're not mansions, and they're not even in the same state that you live in. So, is this the key?
I think it does have a little bit to do with it, but it's just more about the numbers, having that strategy in place. And for me, it's working up to it and just buying what I can afford, and just working up.
Because these are affordable properties that aren't going to be in major centres.
And you're going to sit on them for a long time.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you take 10 properties over the course of 10 years, where are they going to be that then?
Yeah, look, even if there's not a lot of capital growth, it's like a enforced savings plan, isn't it?
I remember when I started looking at property, going back, I grew up in Western Sydney, in Parramatta area, looking at back in the early 2000s, like properties in Mount Druitt, for example, were like $60,000, $70,000. Now they're like $500,000. So there's been a lot of growth out there, and obviously the area's regenerifying and the cash flow is strong, and there's always an abundance of tenants. People say it's impossible to buy properties today in the current market. You can still buy two-bedroom units for $300,000 in Sydney. If you go to Queensland, you can pick up, much better value. You can pick up, a two-bedroom unit for $170,000 up there, rent for like $200 a week.
Some great advice. Well, what other advice for people of any age that want to invest, Nave?
A few things. For young people, I would suggest by making sure that you have a plan. A lot of people plan more for what they're going to do on the weekend than what they're going to do from their financial future, and planning on actually saving rather than spending. I think, if you can stay at home as long as you can, and like Eddie has done, and try and minimise your expenses and try and save up as much as you can to invest into your next property. 3 things that I always say when buying any property, which is buying below market value, upside for growth and a good cash flow is imperative. But I think looking before that, anyone can do it. If you own a property, right, everyone in Sydney has seen a lot of growth over the last couple of years. If you had bought a property before 2014, you'd have considerable amount of equity. Those properties have doubled. So, a lot of clients that I work with. Interesting fact, we've got 24 million people in the country. Of that, less than 0.001% of Australians actually have more than 6 properties. So Eddie's in that sort of small percentage of the population. There's only about 16 to 17,000, and I guess from my side, I've been blessed to be able to be a part of somehow in their journey of that. We're talking about just average mums and dads that are doing this sort of stuff.
And if you want to learn more about property investment, visit B.Invested.com.au. Eddie, you'll be able to move out of home soon.
Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Nathan. Thank you, Eddie. Coming up on